In a lively village in Igbo land, there were two popular Buka stores, Mama Emeka's Buka and Mama Ikin's Buka. Both women were renowned for their mouth-watering dishes, which drew people from neighboring villages. Mama Emeka, a vibrant and determined woman in her early 30s, wore her signature light blue wrapper adorned with wrist beads and had long, flowing hair. She took great pride in her cooking, preparing each meal with care and tradition. Mama Ikin, on the other hand, ran a bustling buka that always seemed to be filled with cheerful patrons. Her food was equally delicious, but something about her place seemed to attract more customers. Day after day, Mama Emeka watched enviously as Mama Ikin's buka overflowed with people, while her own buka struggled to fill even a few tables. The laughter and chatter from across the way only deepened her frustration and despair. As days turned into weeks, Mama Emeka grew increasingly desperate. She noticed the dwindling number of customers and the growing stack of unpaid bills. But now, with her business on the brink of collapse, she felt a gnawing curiosity. She remembered the stories of powerful potions and enchanted waters used by ancient herbalists to draw people and fortune. Mama Emeka's mind wandered to the mortuary at the edge of the village, where old tales spoke of water used to bathe the dead holding mysterious powers. Desperation can lead people to strange decisions. That night, under the cover of darkness and guided by a mixture of fear and hope, Mama Emeka made her way to the native doctor place. She moved stealthily, her heart pounding with each step. The air was thick with an eerie silence, broken only by the distant hoot of an owl. Mama Emeka, her face lined with worry and exhaustion, stood in the dimly lit hut of the village native doctor. The air was thick with the scent of burning herbs and incense, casting eerie shadows on the walls adorned with ancient symbols and mystical artifacts. She poured out her woes, speaking of her struggling buka, the dwindling number of customers, and her mounting desperation. The native doctor, a stoic old man with eyes that seemed to see through her very soul, listened intently. His weathered hands traced the lines of a worn staff as he contemplated her plight. After a long silence, he leaned forward, his voice a low, gravelly whisper. "There is a way to turn your fortunes," he began, his tone laced with both gravity and a hint of menace. "But it is not for the faint of heart. Are you prepared to do whatever it takes?" Mama Emeka nodded fervently, her eyes wide with a mix of hope and fear. "I will do anything," she replied, her voice trembling with resolve. The native doctor took a deep breath, as if weighing the consequences of what he was about to reveal. "You must go to the mortuary," he said slowly, "and collect the water used to bathe a dead body. Use this water to cook your food. This," he emphasized, leaning even closer, "will make your food irresistible, and customers will flood your shop." Mama Emeka gasped, recoiling slightly. The suggestion was beyond shocking, it was unthinkable. Yet, as the native doctor continued to explain the power of the ritual, her desperation began to outweigh her revulsion. Blinded by ambition and the lure of success, she found herself nodding in agreement. That night, under the cover of darkness, Mama Emeka crept to the mortuary. The silence was deafening, broken only by the sound of her own rapid breathing and the distant hoot of an owl. Her hands shook as she filled a small container with the eerie, glistening water. Each drop seemed to echo with the weight of her decision. Returning to her buka, she felt a strange sense of calm settle over her. She prepared the food with meticulous care, using the special water as instructed. As the first wisp of steam rose from the pot, she could almost hear the whispers of unseen spirits swirling around her. The following day, as she served the dishes to her unsuspecting customers, she watched with bated breath. To her astonishment, people began to flock to her buka, drawn by an inexplicable craving. The food was indeed irresistible, just as the native doctor had promised. Mama Emeka had two children. Emeka and Ada noticed the sudden increase in customers and the strange shadows, but their mother assured them everything was fine. But as the days turned into weeks, Mama Emeka couldn't shake the growing unease. The once vibrant and lively atmosphere of her Buka was now tinged with an unsettling air. Customers initially enjoyed the food, but soon, strange things began to happen. People started falling ill mysteriously, and whispers of dark magic began to spread. The once vibrant and lively atmosphere of the Buka turned uneasy and fearful. However, the success came with a price. Strange things began to happen. People started to fall ill, and the air around her Buka grew heavy and ominous. Animals avoided the area, and whispers of dark magic began to spread through the village. The once vibrant and lively atmosphere turned uneasy and fearful. Mama Emeka realized that her desperation had led her down a dark path, and now she had to face the consequences of her actions. One day, a concerned villager named Chinedu decided to investigate. After hearing the troubling rumors and noticing the sudden shift in fortunes, he decided to follow Mama Emeka. In the shadowed alleys of the village, Chinedu trailed Mama Emeka. Her once warm smile had grown strained, and her eyes held secrets. Whispers of dark magic clung to her like dew on morning grass. That night, Chinedu watched as she slipped into the mortuary. The air thickened, and the silence became a living thing. He witnessed Mama Emeka collecting the water from the mortuary. Chinedu, the curious and the brave, bore witness. His eyes widened, and his heart quickened. He knew this was no ordinary water. It held the power to heal or curse, to bind or break. Chinedu's footsteps echoed as he hurried to the village elders. His voice trembled as he recounted what he'd seen, the Buka, the strange occurrences, and now this forbidden water. The elders listened, their faces etched with concern. They convened under the ancient Iroko tree, its roots reaching deep into ancestral soil. Mama Emeka stood before them, her light blue wrapper billowing in the breeze. Her gaze met Chinedu's, and he shivered. Was it gratitude or defiance that flickered in her eyes? The village elders confronted Mama Emeka in a meeting attended by all the villagers. Faced with the evidence, she couldn't deny her actions, and she started begging and crying for mercy. The village was shocked and horrified by her dark secret. They demanded justice for her heinous act. Mama Emeka's Buka was closed down, and she was ostracized by the community. Her customers never returned, and she was left to face the consequences of her greed and desperation. Meanwhile, Mama Ikin's Buka regained its rightful place as the favorite eatery in the village. Emeka and Ada faced the backlash of their mother's actions. They were bullied and isolated at school, and even their friends' parents warned them to stay away. The children felt the weight of their mother's choices and the stigma it brought upon them. Desperate, Mama Emeka tried various ways to regain her reputation. She apologized publicly, sought forgiveness, and even tried to help others in the community, but her efforts were in vain. The trust was broken, and her past actions haunted her. The village decided to conduct a spiritual cleansing ceremony to rid themselves of the dark influences brought by Mama Emeka's actions. The ceremony was a significant event, with prayers, rituals, and a call for unity and healing. In her solitude, Mama Emeka reflected on her choices. She realized the gravity of her actions and the pain she caused not only to herself but to her children and the entire community. She sought solace in prayer and began a journey of personal redemption. Emeka and Ada, though scarred by the past, slowly started to rebuild their lives. With the help of a few kind-hearted villagers, they found ways to move forward, focusing on their education and staying away from the shadows of their mother's past. Mama Ikin's Buka continued to thrive, becoming a symbol of resilience and integrity. Her success was built on honesty and hard work, and she became a mentor to many in the village, teaching the values of perseverance and ethical practices. The story of Mama Emeka teaches us that taking shortcuts, especially through dark and unethical means, leads to dire consequences. True success comes from hard work, honesty, and perseverance. Let this tale be a reminder to all of us to stay true to our values and resist the temptation of easy but harmful solutions. Thank you for joining me today. If you enjoyed this story, please leave a like, subscribe, and share it with others. Until next time, take care and always choose the right path.